Well, Projet Montreal plans to make public transit cheaper for those who can't afford it, announcing a proposal aimed at easing the financial burden on low-income residents. Under the plan, individuals earning $30,000 or less annually would pay the same reduced monthly fare currently available to students. But it is another plan that could be quite costly when it comes to public transit. Let's now go to the leader of Projet Montreal, running for Mayor of Montreal in this November election. Luc Rabouin is on the line. Monsieur Rabouin, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
So first things first, public transit here, making public transit cheaper for low-income individuals. I feel the heart's in the right place, but I'm also looking at the funding of the system. And, you know, there's been other things done in recent years, like making public transit free for 65 and up. How do you pay for these promises?
Yeah, so the very important thing is that people have to understand, it doesn't affect the budget of the STM because it's the city of Montreal who is paying for that. As we did for the elderly people in the last term, and it works because now it's free public transit for people 65 years and more, and we observe an increase of the use of the public transit for these people, and it costs $40 million to the city of Montreal. And now we want to go to a further step in this perspective to facilitate the access to public transit for people. And we want to give a little help for low-income people. You know, the last year, the increase of the cost of life has affected everybody, but even more the low-income people because they have no flexibility in their budget. And we want to give a little help to them to be able to facilitate the access of public transit for people who has work. They work on part-time or vary the minimum wage, and we just want to give them a little support. And it's already done in different cities in Quebec and Canada. So with a progressive administration like Projet Montreal, I believe it's time to go there for us.
So, and I get that, and I think it's very noble, right? I think what you're proposing is very noble. But I do hear from people like, you know, working class people that would not apply for this, that would not qualify for this program. You know, people that and they feel the STM service is getting worse. Like I hear a lot of comments, especially about bus service, right? How they may have abandoned public transit because of that. I also hear a lot of concerns about safety. So I guess, you know, what I'm getting at is, okay, this is a wonderful program. It may help, like seniors. You point out correctly that more seniors have been using the service since you made it free for them. So maybe you'll end up with more low-income people, but don't you want an STM, public transit service that everyone uses? You know, even if you make $100,000 or $200,000 a year, you want to get on the subway like they do in New York City. And couldn't you do something with that money to make the service better that would get more people aboard the bus and metro?
Yeah. I think one measure is not against another. And I already said that in the next term, my priority in terms of mobility will be improving our bus network. This is where I will put all my energy. I said that Projet Montreal, we put a lot of resource, effort to create a bike lane network. We had to do it. It's a good thing. But now the next step is to improve our bus system. And of course, we have to increase the offer, but we have to be sure that the people are not stuck in the traffic. And it's why I want to work to have a very efficient network that people who are using buses, they have an efficient service.
So that's also going to cost money. How are you doing this? What's being cut? I think people want to make sure that their taxpayers want to make sure their funds are being used well. Is anything going to be cut to pay for this? Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, I'm very well placed to know where the money is coming from because I prepared the last budget at the City of Montreal, and I put in the budget $33 million to face the housing crisis. I had $5 million to help community groups working on homelessness, and we had it, and we just increased the tax level for 1.6%. but we work very hard to find everywhere we can save money, and we started a large process of revising all the services. Are we doing the good thing, the good way? How we can do it better at a lower cost? This is a work that is already started 2 years ago, and we will continue that. The money will come from within the budget. This is where I'm standing, and we will not find it outside. We will find it within the budget by making choices.
With Luc Rabouin, leader of Projet Montreal, of course, running for Mayor of Montreal in this November's election. Mr. Rabouin, I want to talk to you a bit about Camélia-Oud, because you've announced a different vision for Camélia-Oud. It still doesn't include cars. And let me just throw this at you because, you know, as someone on CJD, I've said it, sometimes I get in trouble with my listeners. I'm in favor of bike paths. I'm not the vocal anti-bike path person here. I feel that Camélia-Oud has been one of those roads that is so enjoyable as a motorist. It's like one of the last nice drives a motorist has in this city is to take that slow winding drive through the mountain. And I think it's an attack on the small little joys in life for a motorist in the city when you go after that. Why not go back on that thing? You know, you're changing the vision for Camélia-Oud, but why do cars still need to be off that road?
Mm-hmm. So you will be able to continue to have half of the nice ride with your cars until up to the mountain. We will still permit it by a remembrance road, as you know. And there's a lot of people that are using the mountain. The mountain is so symbolic for all the people in Montreal, but also for biodiversity, nature, and people are using the park. So we want to enlarge the park. And the way to do it is using Camélia-Oud as a way that we can green it. But I am very sensitive about the argument about access to the mountain for elderly people, disabled people, parents with young children. So it's why I adjust the project to be sure that there will be a shuttle to bring them up to the mountain. And if we're not able to put a shuttle, there will not be a project.
So let me ask you, because you know the Montreal Union there is one of the city unions is saying, hey, we're now stuck with a $12.8 million contract that the Plante administration awarded in March, and you've changed the whole plan here. Is that true? Have we now wasted money because you've announced a new plan for Camélia-Oud?
They will have to include the shuttle in their work because. The plan will be done, and they will have to include that, and we will have a project ready to be implemented. I postponed the implementation at the end of the term, so that will let us the time to include the shuttle, and if there's no shuttle, we will not have project. And so this is where we're going, and it's not a waste of money.
Okay, let me ask you before I let you go. You're making an announcement today. You've made an announcement this morning about the city's resilience. What do you mean by that?
We have to adapt our territory, our city, to the climate change effect. People are already affected. It's not theoretical.
Theoretical, yeah.
Yeah, climate change right now, because we have flooding, we have extreme heat period. So we are facing that, and we have to accelerate the adaptation of our neighborhood regarding the effect of climate change. And I want to start by the neighborhood that are the most affected, and I will announce some investment regarding that today. All
right, we're going to leave it there. Mr. Rabouin, thank you so much for joining us on the Campaign Trail. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That's Luc Rabouin, the leader of Projet Montreal, and of course running for mayor this November.